Alright, so I put extra little drizzle of assembly lube on there, just for good measure. And obviously you want to be very gentle. We'll get something to stick in the end here to give us some leverage. Like this screwdriver right here will be perfect. Just to give us a little leverage. There we go. Just took a little bit of prying action to get that last bearing journal started. All right. So obviously you want to do that as gently as possible, but it's going to clang around a little bit. All right, we need to get this old tensioner off of here, and I got a new style we're going to put on there. Matches our timing chain. We'll get rid of this stuff. Alright, so this is the new style that comes with the timing set. Just sits between the chain. Keeps it from slapping around. Comes with its own bolts. This is the side you want up against the block. One side's inset. That's not. I'm going to clean these holes out with some brake cleaner. Oh, brake cleaner in the eyes. That's fun. But now there won't be any oil in those threads. You know, before I install that tensioner, I'm going to go ahead and do the cam plate. I don't know if that tensioner is going to keep me from getting the chain on. Now, gasket. There's a gasket on your cam retaining plate. It seals right around this galley right here. It's your lifter galley. It gets pressurized with oil. So we'll make sure that's nice and clean. Comes with its own bolts and its own sealer, so we won't have to put blue Loctite on this retainer plate. I don't know if you guys can see that. Bolts. And so that matches up with that. And the tapered side, it's got tapered screws. So let me look at the torque spec that I wrote down. I think it's 18. We'll set our torque wrench to 18 foot-pounds. These are our Torx bit. So we'll use our torque bit set. It is a T40. Get these started. Do not drop them in your oil pan. That will cause a fucking serious nightmare. I'm sure you could get them out with a magnet, hopefully. Not taking the oil pan off. Alright. So those are started. Appreciate if you guys would subscribe. It would be serious solid for me. So don't tighten any one of these down. You want the plate to center itself on all these tapered screws here. I always like to kind of go back and make sure they're all right where they need to be. Now we'll get our timing gear and chain. The cam I bought is a 3-bolt cam, not a 1-bolt. Your factory LS3 comes with a single bolt. Comes with a nice set of ARP bolts that we'll put some thread locker on, and our chain. Alright, so our torque spec is 22 foot-pounds. They are a 10 millimeter. Pull that out where we can get to it. Here's your timing mark. There's one on the crankshaft here. They need to point at each other. First, put your timing gear on your camshaft. I'm going to try to get this gear to come up here straight. Okay, so basically you want to get your cam and your gear lined up with your timing mark on your crankshaft. Once you get the cam in the right spot and the gear lined up, hang the chain over the gear. And then, you can pull it off, drop it down, hook it onto the bottom sprocket, put it back where it needs to be. And as long as when you get this all tightened up, that those two timing marks are aimed at each other, then we're good to go. Alright, so now we will torque it down to 22 foot-pounds. I've got a flywheel locking tool on this engine, so it's not going to turn over. You might have that issue if you don't have something locking the engine from turning over. It might turn.